As you know, lately, there has been a writers' and a actors' strike going on. And what is going on now is that these Hollywood studios are once again, there's articles showing that record amounts of money are being lost. There's an article from Breitbart that says that Disney Plus is expected to lose $800 million this quarter. There's a separate article from Peacock that announces that they're going for their first ever price hike because of their own record number of losses in this current quarter. And all of this is going on while the actors are out here picketing and asking for what they call their fair share. They're saying that these studios have record profits. That's what they keep saying, right? Record profits. They want their fair share. Mary,
they list out the salaries that these executives at the studios are making as proof of that.
What is your fair share of nearly $1 billion in losses from Disney?
I mean, what is Bob Iger's fair share for all of those losses?
Yeah.
He does have an inflated salary.
Nor
if you're
should he be
looking at
getting...
how the business is operating now. The theme park attendance is going down as well, which is where they make a lot of their real money. The movies are performing terribly. I think they've lost like $1 billion on Disney movies this year. And still, the media is going to frame all of these losses somehow as a win for Disney.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like this.
Well, no, I don't know now because now who does the media take the side of? Does the media take the side of the actors or does it take the side of the studios?
It cites this report from back in May before the strike started from the New York Times talking about Disney Plus's losses. And it said that its streaming business losses totaled $659 million, an improvement from a year earlier and a vast improvement from the previous quarter when losses totaled $1.1 billion. Streaming revenue climbed 12%, reflecting a sharp increase in revenue per paid Disney Plus subscriber. And this is framed as a win for Disney because the losses were down that specific quarter, and now they've gone right back up to $800 million.
Yep.
Like, what is the fair share for the executives or the actors or the writers?
They should all be taking cuts.
Yeah. Like, we need probably more layoffs at Disney. Bob Iger should be paid less. Like, I agree with them on that front.
Yep.
But
nor should he have gotten a contract extension.
Yeah. No.
Like
that also has caused Disney's stock price to drop after that announcement that he's going to be there until 2026. So clearly their investors aren't happy about it.
And then Peacock is raising their prices now. And it says, as the opposing sides slides to the move, at the end of quarter one in 2023, Peacock had a total of 22 million subscribers, marking a 600% year-on-year increase. So that was the good news that came out of this. It has also added more than 80,000 hours of content since it launched in 2020. The problem is... that's $3 billion in losses for them because nobody's watching. Like, I'm like the only one. I sometimes feel like I'm shouting into the void. I'm like, go get Peacock. It's like the best streaming service. Nobody, like, I don't know anybody else that watches it on a regular basis.
I had a weird dream recently that Peacock acquired Daily Wire. And,
what?
Yeah. And
why?
I don't know.
That's so weird.
Maybe it's prophetic.
They'll
need some content that people actually want to watch.
I'm picturing Ben Shapiro with like the peacock symbol behind him that looks like he's got the preened feathers.
So they're rising the price of Peacock Premium to $4.99, from $4.99 to $5.99, and Peacock Premium Plus, that's too many P's, from $9.99 to $11.
Yeah.
And
which is, to be fair, still cheaper than a lot of them. In the chat, Marcos Chaz says, who has Peacock? I do, my friend. I'm like the only one. I'm like the only person I know that has both Peacock and Paramount Plus.
You don't need any of these streaming services.
No, you absolutely don't.
They're not utilities.
They're
and yet, there are alternative ways to access content online.
So I've heard that before.
Maybe I should do a wire fraud tutorial rap video about that.
We got revenue shared for that one. They ended up keeping that money. On top of that, if you guys remember, there was an article back in May that saw Warner Brothers receive almost $1 billion in losses in the first quarter. So all of these CEOs have unbelievably inflated salaries. It's just that the actors don't make themselves sympathetic in any way, shape, or form. So why would I want to see them get more? We should watch the Fran Drescher clip.
Fran Drescher just called out Bob Iger specifically.
I've got this here. Hold on. Here we go.
What did you think about Bob Iger's comments yesterday?
I found them terribly repugnant and out of touch, positively tone deaf. And, I don't think it served him well. If I were that company, I would lock him behind doors and never let him talk to anybody about this, because it's so obvious that he has no clue as to what is really happening on the ground with hardworking people that don't make anywhere near the salary that he's making. High 7 figures, 8 figures. It's like, this is crazy money that they make, and they don't care. They're like land barons of a medieval time.
I would like to go back to the medieval period, honestly.
Yes.
That would be superior to this.
Well, not just that, but also, like, if you really think about it, like, she's worth, like, it said 12 million. I guarantee you she's worth way more than that. She was just with Kim Kardashian because she's a spokesmodel for some very, very large clothing brands. They are the upper echelon. What she's pretending like she's one of the proletariat. She's not. She's one of the rich people.
She's in the 8-figure range.
Yes, she's in the 7-figure range, right? So it's annoying to average everyday people. And when I ask people about it, please don't start playing that. When I asked people about it yesterday on Twitter, they're just saying it's rich people fighting. Now they understand not everyone in SAG, with a SAG card is rich. But they're saying that it just, to the public, the way it's perceived to you and me, to the average everyday person, it's rich, well-to-do people fighting with other rich, well-to-do people about being more rich and more well-to-do. So you haven't made movies good in years. Your TV shows are full of garbage and political activism. Your writers are extremely annoying, and all of these people are extremely annoying on social media. Let it burn. And as far as I'm concerned, you may not be responsible for your bad pay or for the bad conditions, but you are responsible for the fact that there's absolutely no sympathy from the public because you've given nobody any reason to feel sympathetic towards your plight.
Mm-hmm. So. I know there was a simultaneous writers' strike and actors' strike in the 60s, but obviously the business has changed a lot since then. And the public perception of the entertainment industry was probably a lot more positive than it is now. And they're not doing anything to combat that perception that it's just rich people infighting about who deserves more money.
And there's an argument to be made that, like, look, the rich, the ones that are already rich are the ones that get the attention. So it's like the articles aren't being written about the ones that don't have the money because there's no interest in reading those articles.
Even the screenwriters that are complaining are annoying to me.
Oh, yeah, they're worse.
Like the girl that made Gordita Chronicles is complaining about how she's not making enough in residuals for her incredible revolutionary show that she based on herself. Yeah. They're all narcissists. And their products aren't making money. That show got taken off of Disney Plus. Yeah. Because no one was watching it and it was taking up server space. Their complaints are ridiculous.
So David Duchovny, he had some stuff to say about it, which is kind of, I like it because David Duchovny is on the X-Files. AI is a big discussion point that's happening with a lot of these things.
It's so funny. Yeah. Like, they just found this new way to make movies without us. Yeah. Let's strike. Yeah. Like, that's the most illogical response you could possibly have. Let's just give them full license to start making movies without us involved.
Also, it's one of those things, like, in the future, it's not just about residuals. It's about the fact that the AI version of you won't talk back and be annoying online.
They just found a replacement for us. Let's strike. What?
Get back to work, they say. So on top of that, there was an article here from Moody's that says that the new labor deals could cost these companies up to $600 million. Disney has lost $800 million. Peacock is suffering $3 billion in losses, over $1 billion in losses at Warner Brothers, and these contracts are going to cost them $600 million more. What do you expect to do? Are they going to really want to give that to you when you're not making stuff that actual people want to watch? They're just going to make more reality TV.
Yep.
Whether people like it or not, or people clown on reality TV, those shows do amazing. Mm-hmm. They do amazing numbers with a quarter of the budget and less actual problems from the cast, because all of the problems from the cast can be turned into storylines and used to market the products. Like, it's a no-brainer in a lot of ways, and this is what happened during the 2007, 2008 writer's strike. I finally read another one of those articles the other day where somebody like reposted the thing that says the rise of Donald Trump was due to the 2007 writer's strike, because thanks to that strike, we got stuck with more seasons of The Apprentice, and they're like, it's what really turned him into a cult hero. And so the reason why we had an alt-right Yahtzee for a president, according to them, is because actors went on strike in 2007.
I don't know if you still have this pulled up, but I sent you this AI generated video of a droid.
Oh yes, I do still have that. Hold on,
performing a song in the middle of. I think that the rest of the scene was taken from Star Wars Episode 2.
Here we go.
But it's like, if we can have this, why do we need actors?
Yep, here we go. Hold on.
It's so emotional.
I'll be fair here. So Jeff Gann in the chat, who's been very mean to me today, says AI can't even make realistic hands and speak without sounding like a robot. You think AI could make Mission Impossible? The problem is, though, we now have like yes, 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 and that's the content that people are okay with now.
They're watching NPC streams in their free time.
They're watching NPC streams with a bunch of hot women that just sit there and act like robots. So the idea isn't that it could make content as competently as a human can. It's that our human standards have been lowered so far because people are sick of politically active actors and messaging in their movies, and two, our phones have made us dumber and people are just willing to accept less. And especially when you work your way down to Gen Z, no, my dad's generation isn't going to go home and watch an NPC stream, but Gen Z and younger, they will, and they'll put up with it, and it's going to cost these studios nothing to make that.
Yeah, and I'm not in favor of AI replacing humans and AI taking over the creation of art. Obviously, like, I think that human beings are capable of making meaningful art and machines can't. But in this case, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And same thing with the studios. If the studios are the enemy of the actors, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. It just so happens to be the case.
Yep. I don't know. And look, the actors aren't going to get any sympathy from these people, and the executives aren't going to get any sympathy from these people. Because like you said yesterday, the executives are the ones that greenlight these projects and let these writers make this garbage content. Like, the question isn't like, should Gordita Chronicles have been pulled? The question is, why does something that seems to be that unappealing to so many people end up getting made to begin with? Right? Like, or the millions of shows that have been greenlit and written and produced in the last couple of years that nobody seems interested in watching, but they have no problem with making. And I don't think it all comes down to AI. I think the residuals is a big part of it. Cal Penn says, if you remember Cal Penn, says the idea that these big media companies who are making a lot of money, again, where is this lots of money that you keep talking about? It's a buzzword, just like fair share. That are making a lot of money, even as our business changes, are not willing to increase pay by more than 5% when inflation and everything should account for 11% isn't tenable. Well, vote differently, my friend. They're
making money on toys, not your art.
And at the end of the day, like somebody pointed out, like it's not a fair comparison entirely, but they're like, look, every time somebody he's like, when my plumber comes and fixes my toilet, I don't pay him residuals every time I flush my toilet. Like, I don't know if that's a fair comparison, but it is one of those things that maybe we're just going to live in a world where
Kamiko Glenn saying, I showed my tits on Netflix, so I deserve residuals.
Yeah.
Like, if you think that your job is inherently demeaning, that's not my problem. You chose your career path, not Not my problem.
Well, it's for a lot of it, right? It's like when they talk about like, look, this is our retirement plans. I'm like, you chose to work in the freelance industry.
Yeah.
You have to deal with the burdens
I
that
don't
come
see a freelance writer strike.
Yeah, well, no, like, there would be even less support for that. Like, imagine like journalist strikes being like maybe the least liked thing that anybody's
They
ever
did
made
try
in
to
life.
do that, by the way.
I know they did that over at Vice and a
Yeah.
couple of those other ones they tried to, and
When
nobody really.
HuffPost was doing layoffs too.
Yeah. And then look, like Tom Cruise spoke to SAG last month about how he says, basically talking about AI, and he's like, look, be very, very careful about this stuff and lobbying against it. Funny too, because his movie is about
Yeah.
his movie is about AI as well. So, it is what it is. How do you see this ending? Do you think this ends anytime soon?
Oh,
I think it goes on for a good long while.
I hope it goes on as long as possible.
Well,
The longer it
selfishly
drags
for us,
on, yeah, like I want them to be inconvenienced, and I want them to stop producing drivel.
Yeah.
So if only the most popular shows get the green light to continue production and promotion, then that's what they should have been doing all along.
I saw that what they're going to be doing is they're going to be running Peacock on network, or I'm sorry, Peacock. They're going to be running Yellowstone on network TV this year.
Maybe we'll see network TV make a comeback.
Well, no, that's
But
what they're saying.
I
That's the
think
biggest.
Disney is trying to shut down Disney
Yeah.
Channel soon, and then ABC is also a huge loss for them.
Yeah, no, they said network TV is where it's worse. Like it's in free
Yeah.
fall right now. Like nobody cares about network television anymore.
Yeah.
So, thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.